What's going on, guys? This is Lior and welcome back to the channel. Now, in this video, what I thought I would do is give you guys an overview of a neighborhood within Dorchester that a lot of you probably have not heard about or talk about a lot, especially if you're not from the area. It is Lior Mills in Dorchester. It is a super cool neighborhood that is actually on the historic register, but it's got a great restaurant scene. It's got a cool industrial complex that has been converted to apartment living and condo living. It's got really great parks and all that. So I'm gonna give you guys the scoop of what it's like to live in this neighborhood. So if you've been thinking about moving into Dorchester and you want a cool, off-the-grid neighborhood, this may be the one for you. So with that, let's get at it. What's going on, guys? My name's Lior and welcome back to my channel. Now, before I get into it, two super quick things, guys. Number one, if this is your first time on my channel, first of all, welcome. Second of all, make sure you smash that subscribe button to my channel. Helps me put out tons of more content for you guys. So if you're enjoying, if you like what you're seeing, make sure you click that subscribe button for me. And number two, guys, if you've thought about doing anything with real estate around the greater Boston area, whether it's buying, selling, investing, leasing, whatever it is, I help with all of that, guys. And I still get blown away with how many of you guys reach out to me that watch my videos. So if you've been thinking about doing anything, make sure you hit me up and I will definitely help you out. Now, with that, let's go and talk all about the Lior Mills neighborhood in Dorchester. So first, in terms of location, it is literally one of the most southern neighborhoods in not only Dorchester, really all of Boston. It's basically as south as you can get while still being within proper Boston. It is just north of the Milton line, right? Once you cross from Lior Mills, the next city over is going to be Milton. So it's kind of like a little bit of a city to Burby transition over there. And it definitely kind of has that feel, right? It's a little bit less of a very city tight feel. You kind of starting to see the transition of how the city goes into the burbs over there. Now, this is a really old district. Like I said, it actually was added to the National Register of Historic Places. Try saying that 3 times fast. And is actually home to a large industrial complex that was actually associated before with the Walter Baker and Company, which, if you don't know your history, if you don't know your Boston history that well, was a really large producer of chocolates in the US. But today that has been converted to apartments, and I'll talk about that more, but it's home to about 130 apartments that overlook the Neponset River. They each come with gardens and all that. It's a really cool spot. But before we talk about housing and all that, let's actually talk about what is there to do in Lior Mills. Lior Mills is actually, as I always do, let's start with a food restaurant because I'm obviously a huge foodie. So Lior Mills does have actually a really great restaurant scene. It's got a nice little selection right within that neighborhood. So some of the highlights are you've got places like Steel and Rye, which is like an American cuisine place that's also got some pretty cool cocktails. If you are a burger snob and you need your gourmet burgers, there's Bread Gourmet on or Dorchester Avenue right there. I've actually been there, very good burgers. So if that's something that you like, check it out. Also been featured in the Phantom Gourmet. You've got other places like the Lior Mills Tavern. You also do have Yellow Door Taqueria. Now, Yellow Door Taco, that's their other location. They also have on location in South Boston, right next to where I live. And I can tell you, if you're a big proponent of Taco Tuesday, I am. Yellow Door Taqueria is one of my top taco places for Taco Tuesday. Really solid tacos. So it's awesome that they have a location right there as well. And they also have a nice, cool contemporary coffee house called Sweet Life. So you can see nice kind of balance, nice different flavors. Burger place, you got American cuisine, you got a tavern, you got a taco place, you got a coffee house. So really solid selection for kind of a small neighborhood, which is really fantastic. Now, in terms of other stuff you can do in Lior Mills, Lior Mills does have pretty good green space options as well. They have a couple of parks. So they have Dorchester Park, which is a good sized park over there. They also do have the Walsh Playground. So you can see a couple of nice options there. And even though it's not technically right on Lior Mills, You are super close to the Neponset area, which I have other videos about. But over there, since the Neponset River runs through there, you have like the Neponset River Reservation. So you do have some really great green space options, not only in Lower Mills, but kind of the surrounding neighborhoods as well. So if you want more outdoor space, if the city's a little too tight for you, this could be a really cool alternative. Now, let's talk a little bit about convenience, transportation, and living there. So the cool thing about Lower Mills, it is on a T-stop. It does have the Butler T-stop, which is part of the MBTA system. Depending on what part of Lower Mills you live in, you can also hop across the river and go into the Milton side, which also has a T-stop. Now, those two T-stops, right, are actually what's called part of the Mattapan Trolley. So those are carts that kind of go into Ashmont, right? So they're kind of like an extension of the Ashmont Red Line, is kind of how I like to think about it. So if you're commuting downtown, right, if you say you work in the downtown somewhere and you need to get there, you can hop on those lines. It'll take you into Ashmont, and then you can take the Ashmont Red Line all the way into the city or wherever else you might be going that's on the Red Line. Now, also depending on where you live in Lower Mills, you don't necessarily have to take those two stops. You could also walk to Ashmont directly. Ashmont's really close by. Again, just kind of depends on where in Lower Mills exactly you live in, and if you're okay walking. If it's maybe cold and in the winter, maybe you hop on Butler, take a couple of stops into Ashmont, and then take the Ashmont Red Line into downtown. And in terms of shopping, you do have a Star Market right in the neighborhood by the Baker Lofts, which I mentioned before. So you have a Star Market right there, and if you guys are not from the area, Star Market is a massive grocery store that basically has everything you need at really good quality stuff. So your food shopping over there is all set and taken care of as well. Now let's talk a little bit about the housing there, which is one of the things that I think makes Lower Mills kind of unique from other neighborhoods within Dorchester. So as I mentioned, you do have the Baker Lofts, right? So that's those were converted from the old factories. So they're loft style apartments. It's a big complex, 130 plus units. And again, it kind of is exactly what you think of lofts, right? Like very high ceilings, exposed brick. So if you're kind of a sucker for that you certainly have that option. You also have the Baker Square condos there. So those are also really cool condos with super high ceilings. Again, exposed bricks. Now that condo complex also comes with amenities such as it has an indoor pool, a fitness center, a sauna, a club room, a dog park. So you can see a lot of amenities go into these large complexes, which is really cool. In terms of pricing, you're typically now looking at about $500 to maybe $550 per square foot, right? So, your 900 to 1,000 square foot units, you're kind of looking somewhere around that $500,000 range, maybe a little bit more. Kind of just depending on the exact unit. Of course, you do have plenty of other housing stock available. There are certainly new developments too, right, where they're building larger townhouses there. So if you're someone that needs more space, you can look at those new larger townhouse developments. Those typically are maybe around 1,400 square feet, and those have been selling around the mid $700,000 to maybe about the low $800,000. So those are certainly a little bit pricier, but again, you're getting brand new product, larger square footage, hence the higher price. So as you can see, Lower Mills is certainly a little bit more expensive than other areas of Dorchester. Again, it's just got a very different vibe there, right? I mean, it's a lot less of a city feel than other parts of Dorchester. It kind of feels quieter. Lots are a little bit more spread out. Again, because that's really one of the last neighborhoods before you're essentially going out of Boston proper. Then you're hitting Milton. So it really is, as I said at the beginning, kind of that transition from the city into the suburbs, if you will. So hopefully that's helpful, guys. Hopefully that kind of gives you a sense of what Lower Mills is about. Of course, if you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, whatever it is, make sure you throw them down in the comments, and I will definitely help you out.